Hi, my name is Nana and welcome to my channel, A Puzzling Lamb. It's been a few days since I came home from the first ever Danish Speed Puzzling Championship, and it was just the most amazing experience ever. It was so much fun. So my original plan was to make one video where I first talked about my training for the competition and then talked about the competition itself. But I can just feel I have so much to talk about both elements, that I've decided to split it up into two videos. So today I'm talking about the training I did for the competition. And before I knew that I was going to the nationals, the only other time I've ever speed puzzled was about 2 years ago, I think, where I did the 12-hour challenge. So I just tried to see how many 500-piece puzzles I could do in 12 hours. I have a post about that, about my experience doing that, buried somewhere in my Instagram page. But yeah, that was a long time ago. Never really speed puzzled since then. So it was actually only, I believe, almost exactly 2 months before the competition that I found out that I was going. I originally thought I couldn't make it, but I moved some things around and I'm so happy I did. But anyway, I had 2 months to practice, and I actually ended up practicing quite a lot more than I thought I would. So I'm going to go through all of them chronologically, tell you what times I had and what I learned along the way. And a lot of the puzzles I have already sold on, so some of them I'll just show you pictures of, including the first one here. And I can't remember my times on the top of my head, so I have some notes here. But the first was one, a Ravensburger, called Puppy Pals. So this is a puzzle I won when I was on that puzzle weekend trip a little while ago. And this image is not at all an image I'm used to. Not my style at all. So it was perfect to practice on. So with this one, I just turned over all the pieces while sorting out the edge. And that really is just what I always do. I just don't seem to be able to sort out anything else at that stage. It's just my brain just can't multitask like that. And I also feel that once all the pieces are turned over and they're laying out on the table and I can see them all, it's really easy and really quick for me to just pull out the pieces I need. So anyway, with this one, I decided not to do the edge first because really the edge is rarely the fastest thing to do first. But with this one, I did learn that if the edge is really easy, it's good for me personally to do that first, because here I think it was about halfway when I decided to just put the edge together, and it helped so much. It really helped to give me a better sense of where everything was placed in the puzzle. It turned out I had some sections completed that I thought were further apart from each other, and then it turned out that they perhaps already connected. So yeah, but it was a difficult puzzle, all that fur. There were quite a lot of these dogs that looks a lot like each other. But I ended up doing it in 1 hour, 8 minutes and 16 seconds. And I think that's a good time, but I really didn't have anything to compare with. But still, really happy that I was actually pretty close to the 1 hour mark. But yeah, I've already solved that puzzle. Never intend to do it again, not my style at all. But the next puzzle I tried, I actually decided to try and speed puzzle because I saw the Euro Jigsaw Jam. I can't remember what number, but the Euro Jigsaw Jam is an online competition that is put on by speedpuzzle.eu. And I haven't tried one of those competitions yet. I have one coming up later this month. But it's also just really fun to see. They live stream them on YouTube, and it's really fun to see. And I think actually also a lot of good practice to see that, because you get to see how different people tackle the same image. And just as a side note, I'm going to link them down below. And I'm actually so lucky that I got an affiliate link. So if you want to try and buy one of the mystery puzzles for a future competition, or just one of the many other puzzles they have on the website, among them all the puzzles they've used in previous competitions. So if you want to try one of those, compare your times, you can do that. But anyway, it's an affiliate link, which means that if you use that link and buy something from them, it's no extra cost for you, but I do get a small commission, so it's a great way to support my channel. But anyway, in one of those competitions, they used a puzzle that I actually already owned. So a couple of days later, I of course had to try it, and it's this one from the brand Pieces and Peas. I have a lot of them here. And even though my time was a little bit slower than the Puppy Pals one, I did this one in 1 hour, 13 minutes and 27 seconds. And the image, I think, is a little more difficult, but I could definitely feel that it's a style I'm more used to. So even though I was a little bit slower, I actually felt like I was moving faster. It was really fun to do. I think I started with the sky at the top, and when the sky was done, I think I actually did the entire edge. I did some of the yellow beach, the houses was really difficult for me, but I think I did those. Some of the really obvious patterns, there are some colorful rocks up with the houses, and then when the only thing I had left was some water and those stones, I actually ended up putting all the pieces in rows. I didn't shape sort, I just put them in rows, and I think that's a really good idea for me to just be able to see the pieces properly, but without spending the time of actually shape sorting. So yeah, 1 hour, 13 minutes, 27 seconds, which would have placed me in 23rd place if I was in that competition. I can't remember how many participated, but I was also really happy with that. Then the next few puzzles I did, I met up with my team, and you can't see that, but I actually have on, we made some team t-shirts with our names in the back. Can you see it? Yeah. But my team consists of, well, me, Christina, who I've talked with on Instagram for a very long time and who I met in that puzzle weekend, and then Christine and Nina, who I hadn't met before, but they're all on Instagram. I'll put them up on here. So we decided to meet one day, practice a few puzzles. We don't live super far from each other, but still so far, so, it's limited how often we can meet. But we tried 2,000-piece puzzles. And the first one, the Book Palace, Ravnsburger. First, okay, we tried those two puzzles, but we also just talked a lot, talked about how we individually speed puzzle, what our strategies would be with different images, how we should work together, all that kind of things. And I think it really helped in the end, and we just really worked together well. We also have a group chat where we talk together, show our individual results, learn from each other. But the first one we did, the Book Palace, we did that in 1 hour, 19 minutes and 8 seconds. And it was a difficult one. I believe we chose it because we thought it wouldn't be that difficult, but it really was, especially those railings at the top. I believe Christine started out with those, quickly said, nope, can't do it. I tried it. I quickly said, nope, that's the last thing we're gonna do. Those were really difficult. I remember I think I worked a lot on the chairs in the middle and that postcard stand on the side. But yeah, I think we did really well. We worked together really well. The next one we did was one called Copenhagen Nyhavn. So we tried one that was an actual photograph there. This one we did a little bit better, actually a lot better with. We did it in 1 hour, 14 minutes and 54 seconds. Sorry, 1 hour, 14 minutes, 54 seconds. And this one was actually a really good team puzzle because there were so many clear sections. So one person took the sky, one person took the water, and then I just took one of the houses. I can't remember, but it was really easy to divide up. And yeah, it was just amazing to meet each other and really good to practice together. We were really good at communication. I think that's really the key with teams and pairs, is always knowing what each others are doing. But yeah, we tried those 2 puzzles. Then about a week later, I believe, Christina came home to me so we could practice as a pair. And we started with this puzzle, also around Spurger. Here Comes Christmas. So yeah, we did a Christmas puzzle. But we just thought it is such a busy image, it would be great to practice that. And that was also a really difficult one. But we did it in 58 minutes and 11 seconds. And I think this was one where we just moved around from section to section a lot. But yeah, we just have really great communication. So yeah, pretty happy with that time. The next one we did was a circle of colors, because we thought those puzzles have been used in quite a lot of competitions recently. So we thought there would be a pretty big chance to get one of those at the competition. Spoiler alert, we didn't. But we decided to practice with one, so we practiced with this astrology. And here, I believe, we flipped over all the pieces. I believe, Christina, did she do the edge? I think perhaps she did, and I color sorted all the pieces. And then we just each took a color, and we ended up with all those blue colors. Oh, those were difficult. There were a lot of blue. But we did it in 55 minutes and 55 seconds. And what we really learned from practicing these 2 puzzles is that when we flip over all the pieces, we need to make sure that they all end up at one end of the table, so we have the other end free to do the puzzle. So we then don't end up with puzzle pieces all over the place and having to move them to make space for the puzzle. So yeah, that was the pairs and teams practice we got done before the competition. The rest of it is just me doing individual practice. So the one I did next, and I do have that, is I decided to try a circle of colors myself, because I had this one that was used at the World's competition last year in, I believe, one of the preliminary rounds. Can't quite remember. But this one, so beautiful, not that difficult, but I started out again sorting out the edge, but I didn't do that until the end, I did it along the way. I believe I started out with some of the yellow fish, but quickly moved on to other parts, because let me tell you that these yellow fish here, I just struggled with those. I just couldn't figure out how they went. The rest of the puzzle I actually thought was quite easy. This inner part here, but those yellow fish, something about them my brain just couldn't figure out. So I did this one in 1 hour, 12 minutes and 50 seconds. And I have written it down here. It was used in the semi-final too, and I would have been number 88 out of 108 participants. Except my time would probably not have been that good at that competition. I think it actually does matter quite a lot that you know the puzzle in advance, even though when I've picked out puzzles to practice with, I have tried very hard to not think about them beforehand, not think of any strategies beforehand, but I can't help it. I do a little bit. So I think I probably would have been a little bit slower at the competition. But yeah, pretty happy with that time. And it's a beautiful puzzle. I'm looking forward to doing this one again without speed puzzling it. So the next one, not a circle of colors, but this one, which I thought was really difficult. Again, a style I am not at all used to. Those green bits here, I believe I started with the road and the car. This sign up here, I did those building. Oh yeah, the sky up here, pretty easy. I actually also think the tower itself was pretty easy. I did that as one of the last things. So I had everything around it, and I think that was actually pretty easy. But this green here, oh, that was difficult. So let me see, my time on that one was 1 hour, 21 minutes and 15 seconds. So the slowest time so far. And it did feel a little bit like a defeat, but this is also where I really discovered the hardest thing about training, speed puzzling training, is that it's really difficult to know whether you're improving. So this is at that point, that was my slowest time. Is that because I was actually better, to say that like that with this puzzle, or was it just a more difficult puzzle? I mean, it's so difficult to compare times between different puzzles, and I can really, if I try this one again, my time will be better just for the fact that I've tried it before. So it's really difficult. So, yeah, but even though I was a little bit defeated by this puzzle, I think I still did pretty great. For me, at least, this was a really difficult puzzle. And I can also feel that for me, it really means something, that it's an image type style that I'm used to. So a puzzle with an objectively harder image can actually still be a little bit more easy for me if it's an image style I'm used to. And the next one, I don't have that with me anymore, vintage cookbooks. And I also feel like I struggled with this one, even though my time was actually really good. 1 hour, 6 minutes and 3 seconds. I think I started out by sorting all the shelves and tried to do those, but very quickly realized, nope, not gonna do that. Way too difficult. And I also think that's one of the reasons why I don't want to do too much sorting up front, because when I have to make snap quick decisions like that of what I want to sort, there's a very high risk that I'm going to sort out the wrong thing. I need to have all the pieces out, see them all. And yeah, I actually don't remember if I did the edge first here. I don't think I did it right away. Yeah, but this is an image I really find difficult, because there's so many small sections. There's no bigger sections to sort out. So a busy image like this, I really find difficult. Again, pretty good time, I think. But I also feel like I struggled with it. But if I thought I struggled with that one, the next one was really difficult. It's this one, Quirky Circus European Map. I actually remember, I think I did the edge first with this one, which I think was a good idea. And all of that stuff that's happening around the edge of the puzzle was pretty easy. So it was actually really only the map in the middle that was really, really difficult. But yeah, pretty great time, I think. But the next one, Sweet Temptation. And I loved this puzzle as a speed puzzle. I wouldn't buy it just, to do for fun, but as a speed puzzle, I loved it. And this is one, yeah, I also think I did the complete edge first here, but this is just my style to speed puzzle. Big enough sections that I can sort them out easily, but also not so big sections that each section is really difficult. So this one is the first time I came under an hour. 58 minutes and 5 seconds. This was so much fun to speed puzzle. And I think a really easy puzzle. If you want to have a success experience speed puzzling, get this puzzle or something similar. I really loved that one. Now, the next one is one I had actually done before. So I thought I don't think I had any Ravensburger puzzles left at that point. So I thought, why not try some of those puzzles I did at that 12-hour challenge 2 years ago? Because since it's so long since I've did the puzzle, I figured that it wouldn't really factor into my time. But this way I could actually compare my times and see if I had gotten any better. So the first one I did of those is this one, cat puzzle, sorry. And I also really loved this one. Again, big enough sections to sort out. I believe I started with this one. I don't think I did the edge first with this one, because there is a lot of it that's solid colored. I also think up here you can see actually the entire image here a little bit better. Oh, like that. But yeah, there are big enough sections to sort out. This one, the rock here, even the cat here is very recognizable. The chair, there are a lot of things to sort out. But again, the sections aren't so big that each section is really difficult. So let's see, my notes disappeared here. I did this one, no, when I first did it at that 12-hour challenge about 2 years ago, and it was actually the first puzzle I did that day, so I wasn't tired yet there. But that time I did it in 1 hour and 15 minutes. This time I did it in 58 minutes and 28 seconds. So under an hour and more than 15 minutes off my time from the first time. And again, I didn't feel like it was easier because I had done it before. It's 2 years ago. I don't think that really factored into it. But yeah, love to speed puzzle this one. And really happy with my time and really happy with how much I had improved. And the next one, also one I did that day 2 years ago. So it's this double-sided gray melon puzzle, but the one I did was that one with the giraffe. Perhaps I'll put up a better image here. So this one I have actually done a few times. I did it at least once before. I speed puzzled it those 2 years ago, and then I speed puzzled it, and then I think I've done it once since, but again, it's a very long time since I've done it. But perhaps this one, I did have a little bit of an advantage. It did make my time a little bit faster, the fact that I've done it before. But I just, generally just love this puzzle. Buy this puzzle. It's one of my favorites ever. I'm never letting it go. But this was also really great to speed puzzle. There weren't really any sections that was particularly difficult, perhaps a little bit. Those plants in the background, but even those, there are quite a lot of color difference. So yeah, I loved that one. And let me see my time. The time I did it 2 years ago, I did it in 1 hour and 28 minutes. But this time I did it in 1 hour, 13 minutes and 47 seconds. So also a really great time. But the next puzzle, this one. And I kind of want to just burn this puzzle. It's a nice image, for just puzzling it normally. But I thought it would be good to practice a very busy image like this. And this, I think, feels like the most difficult puzzle I did. Just looking at my times, yeah, it was the worst time I had. So I did this in 2 hours, 3 minutes and 14 seconds. I really struggled with this one because there really is nothing to sort out here. It's the same colors all over the place. No bigger sections. I believe I sorted out. I started with those blue. There are a few places here, those a little bit bigger, but oh my god, I had a hard time with this one. And I finished with the edge, and there are a few pieces in the edge that are completely black, and I did have false fits there, so that also really annoyed me. I think perhaps with this one, it would have been a good idea to practice the strategy where you just look at a piece, find it on the image, and place it approximately where it goes on the table. So yeah, I kind of want to burn this one, but perhaps I should keep it. Perhaps in a little while I should try this one and try a different strategy, because that is the one thing here. I only had 2 months to practice, and I really hadn't thought I would get around to practicing with so many puzzles. So I really just went with my instincts. I didn't, try a lot of different tactics, which I think is normally a good idea to do when you practice speed puzzling, because you might try a tactic that you thought was not at all something you would like, and it turned out it was the perfect strategy for you. I really didn't do that. I felt like I really hadn't time to experiment like that. But perhaps I should have done that with this one. I hated this puzzle, but perhaps I should try it again in a little while. Now the next one is another Grey Malin one I have bought this year. So I hadn't tried this one before, and I did that one again. I'll show you a bigger image of it. And again, loved this puzzle. The only thing that was really difficult was all of those just green hedge pieces I had left at the end. I don't think I did the entire edge here. I started with the water, which was actually pretty easy because there are, if you look closely, you can see there are a lot of color difference and texture differences in that. The edge of the pool was really easy. I did those beach umbrella pieces. The green up at the top was actually pretty easy also. It looks difficult right when you look at it, but there are a lot of color differences in that, so it really was only the green hedge at the end. And I did this one in 1 hour, 13 minutes and 18 seconds. Yeah, and just again, this is just the kind of image I like to speed puzzle. Big enough sections that I can sort out, but each section not so big and not so difficult that it's, really difficult. The next one, and this is one I also did those 2 years ago when I did the 12-hour challenge. So it's this Gibson's puzzle. Such a fun image, and actually the image itself was also pretty good to speed puzzle. So I think perhaps I, at the beginning, just, messed around, couldn't quite figure out where to start. But I think this yellow one here, the dark green, I think I did the roads here. The foxes, the foxes were one of the first things I did. But then, at the end, I felt I was actually doing pretty well. I did have a few false fits, but it was doing pretty well. Then at the end, I had all this blue here, and I had quite a lot of solid orange pieces. And it was filled with false fits. I can't remember ever having so many false fits in a puzzle. Except I do actually remember when I did this one 2 years ago, I also struggled a bit with it. But it was a nightmare, and I actually ended up just giving up. I thought, this is never going to happen in the competition. In the competition, it's Ravnsburger Puzzles. They were sponsoring the competition. And I just thought, if this was a Ravnsburger puzzle, I wouldn't have had those false fits. I wouldn't have had to spend so much time on them. So I just ended up putting them in random places. I'll show you some pictures. And I know perhaps this doesn't quite count as I completed the puzzle. But I just thought, this will never happen in a competition. So I did it in 1 hour, 17 minutes and 51 seconds. And I will say, if this image had been on a Ravnsburger puzzle, I would have done it a couple of minutes faster, because even before I gave up, I did spend a lot of time with those false fits and fiddling around with those. So lovely image, but honestly, don't buy this puzzle. It was a nightmare. Then the next one, a Galison. I hadn't done before. I have 2 puzzles left, and I hadn't done any of these before. I did this one because I thought I didn't have any more Circle of Colors puzzles, but besides the fact that this is a square and not a circle, I thought it was actually a good practice for a Circle of Colors puzzle. And this one I love doing. I started, I believe, with the blue, did some of the purple, then I actually think I went up to the yellow here, because there are quite a lot of green, and then I finished with the reds up here. And at some point, I actually thought I would do this in under an hour. It was a really easy puzzle, except for the edge. I of course didn't start with the edge with this one. Oh, I haven't shown it properly, have I? Here, as you can see, the edge. There were some pieces on the edge where you could see the ornament above it, but yeah, really difficult. If this puzzle hadn't had that edge here, let me try and explain, if the image had stopped like here, I think I would have done this one in under an hour. But I did it in 1 hour, 5 minutes and 40 seconds, sorry. But yeah, I do think it was a good practice for a Circle of Colors puzzles, but we didn't end up getting any Circle of Colors puzzles. The last one I practiced with, which was a couple of days before the competition, and then I thought it would be nice to just take a break the last couple of days before, so I didn't burn out completely. But I did this one. A really fun puzzle. And again, one where I didn't do the edge first. That would have been a nightmare. I think I did the face here first, and then it was really just pulling out each of these colors, and the cat itself was really easy. Oh, I don't know if it was really easy, but it was easy enough. Then I could pull out that red around the cat. But then this background. Oh, so difficult. So difficult. So I ended up doing this one in 1 hour, 47 minutes and 33 seconds. Which I actually think still is pretty good for such a difficult puzzle. And also, when I did this one, I think that was the same day I did the ornaments puzzle and that awful Gibson's puzzles, Abbey Road Foxes. So it was the third puzzle I did that day, because I thought it was actually also great to practice speed puzzling a lot in one day, because that was going to happen at the competition. So, practicing my stamina, is that what it's called? So I don't know if I would have gotten a better time if it was the first puzzle I did that day, but I actually didn't feel that tired. But yeah, that background. And now I'm dropping the puzzle. But I actually do want to try that puzzle again one day normally. But anyway, that was all the puzzles I did. And again, if I were to do something different, I probably should have tried out some different strategies. Figured out if there was some other strategy that works better for me. But I only had 2 months. I really didn't think I would have had the time to do all these puzzles. So yeah, I also kind of think it was the right decision to just follow my instinct and practice the strategy I know, the strategy that comes natural to me. Anyway, I was very happy with most of the times I got here, and I felt really ready for the competition. But how I did at the competition and what puzzles we got will be in the next video, which I hope won't be too long before it's out. I'm filming it right away when I'm done with this video. I'm filming it all today. So hopefully it won't be too long before that video is out. So stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing. See you next time.